Okay, we're looking at skin here. And there we go. So skin is an organ. So remember, the skin is an organ of homeostasis. Homeostasis. So we said homeo is steady and stasis is state. And excretion, where something gives something out, it pushes it out, excretes it. What is meant by the term excretion? So it's the removal of, in our case, waste products from where? From the cell. So this is important. It's the removal of waste from cells. This waste product is also known as metabolic waste, and the metabolism is the reactions taking place in the cell. Reactions in cell across the whole body. Right, let's move on. Right, so this is your hair. That is your gland. That excretes oils. Right, this here is a network of capillaries. That there is your sweat gland. And okay, let's just do that. So we'll say that this here is, that's your skin, dermis, epidermis. Right, okay. Structures labeled A and B play a part in homeostasis when a person enters a warm environment. A and B. Explain the role of structure A. So this here is it's a sweat gland. It's going to release sweat. It's going to travel up to the surface of the skin, and then it's going to evaporate. And the effect of that is to cool the body down. So that's what we need to write. Okay. So let's write that down. So the sweat gland releases sweat. As the sweat evaporates, from the surface of the skin, it has a cooling effect. It cools the body down. Right, we need to now look at this structure B. Right, these here, let me get rid of this. These here are your capillaries. So blood travels along here. On a cold day, right, okay, let's do it the other way. So blood's traveling along here. On a cold day, these close up, so the blood continues below the surface. On a hot day, these open up, so the blood travels up closer to the surface and down, so more heat can radiate, and then it also help this sweat evaporate as well if you've got sweat on here. And then it'll continue traveling along. Or will it go that way? But it goes up. Now we need to write that for 3 marks. So let's go down here. What's the first thing that happens? When it is warm, the capillaries open up, but we'll use the word vasodilate. So you get vasodilation. Right, let's use the correct word there. Let's get rid of that. Let's use the word dilate. And you end up with vasodilation. Right, then what happens is you end up with more blood flows to the skin surface. And what does that do? It helps cooling the body down. Right, that'll get you your 3 marks. Right. Hormones are involved in homeostasis. We said this is a steady state. This is to keep the body at a constant temperature, water levels. Right, hormones. What are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers secreted into the blood. They're secreted into the blood and travel in the bloodstream and travel in the bloodstream to have an effect on the target organ. Right. What does insulin do in homeostasis? So insulin let's do it here. Insulin takes glucose molecules in the blood and puts them together into glycogen, and then that is stored in the liver. So it controls blood glucose levels. So Insulin is secreted by the pancreas, and what does it do? It lowers or controls, well, and don't use the word control, say it lowers, because that's what it's doing. Lowers the blood glucose levels by converting glucose into glycogen and storing it in the liver. Right, I put everything because it's a good habit. Although it's only 2 marker, because they're not going to mark you down. Right, insulin secreted. That won't get you a mark as such if you look at the mark scheme, but it won't mark you down. It helps retain that information in your head whilst you're revising anyway. So it lowers the blood glucose levels, by converting it, the glucose into glycogen, right, and storing it in the liver. So that's the way I like to look at things. People will argue out the other way, but okay, what is ADH? Antidiuretic hormone. So antidiuretic hormone. Right, remember what we said? It's released in the hypothalamus, in the pituitary gland. Yeah. And travels in the bloodstream. So explain the roles of ADH. ADH released by the pituitary gland, goes to the collecting duct in the kidney and makes it more permeable. Right. This means more water is absorbed back into the blood. Right. What does that mean? That means that the blood becomes less concentrated. Whoa. Concentrated. And the urine becomes more concentrated. Right, that's that done. All right, we're looking at let's do that one. Not that one. Oh dear, it's doing that again. Right. So what we've got is let me get this right. Okay. Name the process that maintains a constant internal environment. Homeostasis. Oh, right? Okay, that's weird. That's almost a strange same question. Okay, they've just worded it slightly differently, which is fair enough. So remember we said that is a sweat gland. So it produces, so it's just a copy of the one above we've just done. Produces sweat, which goes to the surface of the skin and then evaporates, cooling the body down. Cooling the body down. Yeah, we've just done that. Right, and right, let's have a look. Right, what they're saying now this time, this structure, we called it capillaries. You can get away with the word capillaries, but they're also saying you've got to use the word small artery or arterial, so we've got to be careful with that. So we need to go up here. Where are we? Right. They do not like this word capillary. They'll say ignore it. So they want the word arterioles, or if you use the word small arteries. That's an interesting one. So let's get this right then. So point B, what does it do? The arterioles vasodilate, causing more blood to flow to the surface of the skin. And let's put the here. Right off the skin. So then what happens is this helps cool the body as the heat is lost. Right, how is it lost? Through radiating away from the surface of the body. But that's more physics. We don't need to do that. So that was an interesting one. I'm going to highlight this. Use the word arterioles, not capillaries. I thought they might let you get away with that, but they don't. So arterioles vasodilate means more blood flows to the surface of the skin, and then this helps cool the body as heat is lost through radiation, which is fair enough, right? We've got that. It's through radiation and convection. You can put that. The body part controls water content of the blood. The body, name the process. Okay, so the process is osmoregulation. Name the organ that controls. It happens at the kidney. Right, okay. I think this is the last question, which is fair enough. Right, that there is the hair, that is the sweat gland, and that, right, is the arteriole, not the artery, or you can put small artery. It's not the capillaries. Right. They've also called this the hair follicle. Hair follicle, but you can get away with hair. You see now, I think this is the best way to do it. What now is causing me confusion is I need to discuss this here. In this mark scheme, they've said allow capillary, right? They've also said allow blood vessel, but in the other mark scheme, it's saying reject capillary. So for us, what we need to do is use the word arteriole, which is a small artery. That's the safest way. Okay, so remember, hair follicle, hair, sweat gland. That tube that is traveling up is the sweat duct. Together down here is the hair gland that releases it. Right. 5 marker. Explain the changes that occur in B and C when you go into a cold environment. So, first thing, the hair stands on end. It causes the hair to erect. It stands on end because the muscle contracts. So yeah, I'll show you that later. The hair erects because the muscle contracts, and then it traps. Let's just put trapping air, and air is a good insulator. Right, insulator keeps heat in. Right, so then that means that there's less heat loss because of radiation, and because it's trapped air, there's less convection. So that's that part. Now we look at the arteriole or small artery. So the arteriole constricts. Right, let's write the word down. Vasoconstricts, reducing or stopping the blood flow to the surface of the skin. In meaning, so less heat is lost through radiation. Right, let's go up. Yeah, so what happens is it's the hair bit. So it's not so much on this one. Is it? No, it's not. Oh, okay. Right, let's look at this. So get rid of all this. Right, so what you have is you've got a hair so you've got a hair erector muscle here. So just say this is your muscle. This, or let me put it onto this side. Put it onto the wrong side. Right, let's just say it there. There's your muscle. When that contracts and pulls in, this hair will stand up, and it's stood up like this, and then you end up with air being trapped in here. And when you've got a layer of air trapped here, what happens is you've got a layer of insulation. So any heat that wants to radiate off from here, or heat this and that escape, it can't because it's trapped. And you'll see that first thing on a cold morning. If you look at your arm, you'll see little goose pimples, and your hair stood up. And it's a way your body tries to preserve heat and keep you alive. Right, okay, we'll call it quits there. So remember, I think the safest way for this word, where are we? This word here, oh, these never ending, is to use the word arterial. Right, we'll call it quits there. It's getting too long, this video.